Has Bitcoin really entered the bull market cooling-off period? The copycat index has failed and the on-chain suction has been cut off. How long can Bitcoin last? Vitalik but Aaron posted a bullish picture to call for Ethereum, and netizens asked, "What is this bull called?" Musk banned Pump.fun and it instantly became 404. Solaxy quickly took over the meme coin banner. Pavel Durov was released from France right after he criticized France. This move by France is really intriguing. Has the Iron Curtain of 0.05% transaction fees in South Korea been broken? Will Lee Jae-myung's promise to reduce transaction fees be fulfilled this time?
Friday, June 20th, BitcoinTV English channel, Where is the Coin Chain? I am Michael. Let's start with the 24-hour data headlines in the cryptocurrency circle. Taker CVD is a leading indicator that measures the direction of active trading in the market. Simply put, it is to see who is actively placing orders. When the value is positive and continues to rise, it means that the buyer's active transactions dominate and the market is bullish. CryptoQuant data shows that since May 7th, the market has been dominated by buyers have the final say for more than a month. The Taker CVD indicator has been positive and upward, indicating that the funds that actively buy have a firm upper hand. People are pouring in real money, not just bullish. Although Bitcoin has been fluctuating between $100,000 and $110,000 recently and has also encountered old thunders, such as the Federal Reserve's refusal to cut interest rates and the tense situation in the Middle East, the price has not been scared and has stabilized. This shows that the market consensus is slowly taking shape and $100,000 is no longer the ceiling, but the new floor. But pay attention, July and August every year are the oscillation period of Bitcoin. At this time, it is like warming up and stretching in the gym. It will not explode first, but it is secretly accumulating power. If Taker CVD has not turned negative, then there is a chance of a surge in the future. Operational suggestions: don't rush too hard, control the leverage, and wait for large volume before rushing. Otherwise, it is easy to be educated by the market. With the continued interweaving of macro and geopolitical uncertainties, Bitcoin has been trading sideways like a nail house, unable to go up to 110,000 and unable to go down to 90,000, making people begin to wonder if it is playing dead. From the perspective of the realized profit indicator, the 7-day average realized profit has not exceeded $1 billion, indicating that most people have not started to cash out on a large scale, and the market sentiment is actually quite calm. To put it bluntly, no one is in a hurry to sell. Let's look at the apparent demand indicator. This apparent demand indicator is to see whether there are still people willing to take over in the market. The algorithm is to compare the newly added coins with the old coins that have not been moved in the past year to see whether the current market attracts enough. But it is obvious that since the high in May, this attraction has become increasingly weak. It's not that no one buys, but that there are not as many people buying as before. So the current market is stuck in the middle of cannot go up or down yet. If you want to break through, you have to wait for some strong stimulation, such as ETFs continuing to buy, or a surprise from the macro. Otherwise, this sideways trend may continue for a while. Recently, altcoins are really no one cares about. The CMC Altcoin Seasonal Index, with a full score of 100, is now only 22, which is almost the same as failing an exam. Compared with 26 last week and 23 last month, this wave is a continuous decline, without even a decent rebound. The historical lowest point was on April 26 this year, directly dropping to 12 points, which was horrible. The highest point was on December 4th last year, when the index rushed to 87, and at that time there were really altcoins flying all over the sky. To put it bluntly, this CMC Altcoin Seasonal Index is to see whether altcoins have run faster than Bitcoin in the past 90 days. The answer is obvious: no, but they have been pulled away. All funds are running to the regular army, such as Bitcoin and spot ETFs, and no one cares about altcoins. No one is trading them, and they are not even on the table. The current market is a bit like Bitcoin is performing, altcoins are watching, and the market is cooling down. Want to see altcoins take off? We have to wait for three things to come together. Liquidity needs to return, the narrative needs to be popular, and Bitcoin needs to have flown enough. If any of these three elements are not in place, don't rush the spring of copycats. Please like and follow us to sort out the latest developments in the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and mining circles within 24 hours. Click the small bell to join the channel and become a member. You can receive the member wealth password from Monday to Friday. The recent drama in the cryptocurrency circle is quite interesting. Bitcoin has been soaring under the Trump market and ETF, while Ethereum is still stuck below the high point of the previous bull market. The community has begun to be a little glass-hearted, and the mood has been depressed. At the beginning of this year, the Ethereum community couldn't help but open the microphone and shouted, "The foundation should change and stop being arrogant." Faced with this wave of urging for reform, the founder of Ethereum, Vitalik, finally responded, saying that he would be closer to the community in the future, use more down-to-earth promotional methods, and change his storytelling style. As a result, today, Vitalik really played memes. He forwarded a picture released by the marketing company Etherealize last month, which originally said that Ethereum is digital oil, and benchmarked the concept of Bitcoin as digital gold. Vitalik directly changed it to "The bull market is coming," igniting the community with one sentence. Is this the rhythm of official hype and calling for the start of the bull market?
A humorous post published by Vitalik attracted many questions from netizens. Some people asked the name of the cow in the post. Vitalik replied seriously, "It's called HKEX," and said that people can understand it. The post triggered positive calls from Ethereum supporters, but some people also criticized his sudden change of style and lack of seriousness, believing that he has lost his connection with Starknet, Scroll, ZK Sync, Polyhedra, Zora, Linea, and other communities. Some comments pointed out that Vitalik had underestimated the importance of user participation, but now his attitude has reversed and he is asking for help from the community, which is intriguing.
This is the metaphor that I used for the kind of techno-optimism that I have, right? Which is basically that acknowledging the massive benefits that technology has had in the past and will have in the future, but at the same time recognizing the reality that like choices of what to prioritize do exist, and some extremely important choices exist in our road ahead, and we have to think carefully about them.
Vitalik usually has a technical nerd style of, "I am responsible for writing code, not for speaking human language." This time he actually made a joke himself, and everyone was instantly upset. Was his bull market is coming a joke, or a hint that the market is coming? No one dares to be sure. Some communities said that the original picture was too inside joke and could not be understood at all. Vitalik may have realized this and simply changed it to a sentence that everyone can understand. "Bull market is coming." As a result, as soon as the words came out, he was criticized for being too deliberate and too routine. In the final analysis, before the price of Ethereum has risen back, it seems that nothing Vitalik said is right. If you do academic research, people say you are out of touch with the masses. If you do some humor, they say you are not serious. Perhaps only when Ethereum rises back, these controversies will become divine prophecies in a second. In a sudden and high-intensity rectification, Musk personally took action and directly blocked all the accounts of Pump.fun and its founder Aaron Cohen on X, and the Solana community exploded instantly. Once Pump.fun was blocked, the promotion channels of hundreds of projects disappeared. The market was directly silent, and the meme coin circle immediately fell into a state of aphasia. Ito mi yao mei iti. However, new forces can be bred in turmoil, and new protagonists will immediately take the stage, and Solaxy will make a brilliant debut. It is specifically targeted at Pump.fun, not only with more powerful functions, faster speed, but also lower cost. Pump.fun collapsed, Solaxy took its place, and hot money and popularity immediately changed tracks and continued to soar.
As Solana's Layer 2 network, Solaxy is committed to solving the congestion and delay problems during peak hours on the chain. Its community has grown rapidly, with the total number of followers on X and Telegram exceeding 75,000, demonstrating a strong grassroots appeal. Solaxy presale has entered the countdown stage, attracting a large number of original Pump.fun users to switch in the short term. It has currently raised more than $54 million, becoming the largest presale project in Solana's history.
With Pump.fun being blocked and X platform prohibiting external links, Solaxy unexpectedly became a safe haven for the new generation of meme coin creators. Musk originally wanted to rectify the order, but he unexpectedly gave Solaxy a green light and directly became the biggest winner of this wave of traffic transfer. Solaxy is not just relying on the wind outlet to get traffic, it is the first serious Layer 2 project on Solana. Not only does it expand capacity, but it also has its own coin creation platform Igniter protocol. While issuing coins, it also raises money. In a short period of time, the presale has attracted $54 million. No one believes that it is not a top potential stock. More importantly, for projects like Pepe and Bonk that you regret not participating in, Solaxy is now like a second round of opportunities to get on board. The project has strong technology, fast pace, and a hot community. While other platforms are still suspended, this site has already laid a good foundation, cultivated popularity, and opened its wallet to wait for you to rush.
Pavel Durov is granted 14 days of free travel abroad, France says. Don't go too far. South Korea is taking strict action to investigate transaction fees. Are the harvesting knives of major exchanges going to be blunted?
Recently, news broke that Telegram founder Pavel Durov was released by the French authorities. Didn't they prevent him from leaving the country before? Now they suddenly said that he could go abroad temporarily. This made everyone start to guess. You know, France had been keeping a close eye on him before. What did they accuse him of? They said that Telegram's management was too lax and there were illegal transactions, child pornography, and even drug transactions on the platform. They also said that Durov refused to cooperate with the investigation and was conspiring, so they directly issued him an exit ban order. As a result, the wind direction has changed now, and he left as soon as he said he would. Some people said that there was new progress in the investigation, and some people speculated that the two sides had already discussed something privately. No matter which one it was, this wave of releasing people operations was indeed intriguing, and it also made the outside world start to rethink whether Telegram and the French government were still fighting hard or preparing for reconciliation.
According to French media Le Monde, Telegram founder Pavel Durov has obtained approval from the French court and will be allowed to leave the country from July 10th to Dubai, where the company's headquarters is located. The maximum absence period shall not exceed 14 days.
So there is this limitation on my traveling ability, so to say, which is called judicial control. Judicial control is when you can't leave the country freely because there is still investigation going on and you're one of the suspects or the suspect. I was still being allowed to go to Dubai, and I returned last week from Dubai, and I will be going to Dubai later this week, but it's a very, very restricted, controlled process still.
Previously, Pavel Durov had applied to go to Oslo, Norway, to attend the Oslo Freedom Forum hosted by the Human Rights Foundation and give a speech, but was rejected by French officials in May and ultimately participated only remotely. Previously, from March to April, Durov was allowed to leave France briefly and return to Dubai. Open Network Association TUN welcomed the temporary exit permit as a symbolic victory for free speech.
Pavel Durov just went big in the media a few days ago, opening fire on French regulation, saying that if it continues like this, French society will collapse. As a result, a few days later, the French court suddenly nodded and said, "Okay, you can temporarily leave the country and go to Dubai." This wave of mouth cannon for a pass is somewhat intriguing. In fact, Durov has not been idle recently. He talks about his lawsuit in the European Union on social platforms every day. This lawsuit is not just his personal dispute with France, but is regarded as the benchmark case of the century by the entire crypto community, privacy circle, and free speech factions. Because it is about a surreal question: how wide should social platforms be regulated? Should they block everything or not care about anything? On the one hand, they have to protect user privacy, and on the other hand, they are afraid of being abused by bad people. The pressure on the person in charge of the platform is no less than that of the president. To put it bluntly, this lawsuit is to use Telegram as a touchstone to see whether Western society can still hold up the flag of freedom. The whole world is watching how Durov responds next. The Korean cryptocurrency community has been waiting for the news of handling fee rectification. It is said that the Financial Services Commission of South Korea is going to investigate the top exchanges to see if they are cutting leaks on handling fees. In recent years, people are enthusiastic about cryptocurrency trading, but they are overwhelmed by the handling fees. When buying and selling, the platform deducts a portion of the fees, and the profits shrink directly, which makes people afraid to trade frequently. Now that the regulators have taken action, many retail investors are ready to go. If the handling fees can be reduced this time, the market activity may really pick up.
The Financial Services Commission of South Korea disclosed in the work report of the National Policy Planning Committee that the investigation will cover major domestic cryptocurrency trading platforms, including the internationally renowned Bithumb, Upbit, which has a leading share of the local market, and the rapidly growing Coin1, etc. The scope is wide and is intended to comprehensively evaluate the rationality of the fee system.
Well, Yuka, among the economies seeing weak growth is South Korea, which has just elected a new president after 6 months of a power vacuum.
Well, the OECD has slashed South Korea's GDP growth forecast by 0.5 percentage point to just 1%, marking the second largest cut among major economies after the United States.
Financial Services Commission of Korea FSC. The FSC plans to conduct a comprehensive investigation of the current charging system, methods and amounts of exchanges, covering the actual charging situation under different transaction types and scales. At the same time, the FSC will also refer to the practices of major global crypto markets to ensure that the results of the investigation have an international perspective and comparability.
Speaking of handling fees, we cannot fail to mention the bold words of South Korean President Lee Jae-myung. During his campaign, he patted his chest and said that he would cut the handling fee from 0.05% to 0.015%, which almost made retail investors happy. But don't worry, this investigation is still in the preparation stage. The Financial Committee has not yet decided how much to cut and how to cut. After all, both ends must be taken into account. On the one hand, investors want to save money, and on the other hand, exchanges cannot be starved to death. Having said that, Lee Jae-myung has also mentioned many reform plans for cryptocurrencies before, but the market response has been quite cold. Will this investigation really break the deadlock? Everyone is watching.
Binance founder Zhao Changpeng recently posted a warning on social media X that artificial intelligence has been used for new deepfake hacker attacks, and even video call verification methods will soon become ineffective. According to Reuters, after Musk's XAI acquired X for $33 billion, the EU is closely monitoring the relevant changes and evaluating whether to impose a fine of up to 6% of X's global turnover for violating the Digital Services Act. At present, X and XAI have not responded. According to Deribit data, next Friday will be the largest quarterly delivery of Bitcoin options, with a total of $14 billion in options expiring with a nominal value, a put-call ratio of 0.7, and a maximum pain point of $100,000. Gold advocate and economist Peter Schiff tweeted that there is currently huge room for silver to rise. Silver's upside potential is much higher than Bitcoin, while the risk of falling is much smaller. Ant Digits issued an announcement stating that recent market rumors about its cooperation with Hainan Huatai on RWA and stablecoins are untrue. The company stated that the two parties only had preliminary exploratory exchanges on the RWA topic and have not yet reached any cooperation agreement or substantive business arrangements.
Okay, the above is the main content of today's program. Our channel focuses on valuable news in the currency circle, chain circle, and mining circle. There are news information and in-depth special reports. If you think our channel is valuable, you are welcome to forward and follow it. You can also become our member and receive the member wealth code from Monday to Friday. Let us become rich together and add a zero to our assets in the bull market. See you tomorrow.